everyone, welcome back to another episode of Enigmatica 2 Expert Extended. Last time we played, we have made more machines from industrial craft, and we have a windmill all the way up the top connected to our system over here. Offline, I have made a small kitchen over here made out of cooking for blockheads, basically made out of it's a multi-block in a way, but basically you can customize this multi-block in a way you want. Over here you can see all the stuff that we have in the kitchen. It's just you can see what you can do with it. It's like a crafting table that shows you what you can do. Here are some grinders that can turn double the amount of meat we can get, or flour. You can see over here. Over here we have some pressers. And yes, cakes I made. Right. Here I don't know if I streamed this, but it's like a small farm. Another thing I did is I removed the entire river over here and filled it up with cobblestone, considering I have infinite amount of cobblestone. And I'm getting ready to use this area for other mods and stuff. Trying to add a bit of texture for our base so that it doesn't just look like a hole in the floor. I rebuilt this entire thing. Basically, the windmill up there is well, it's still up there, it's just a bit higher. And that's pretty much it. What I've done offline. Oh yeah, I did make tough alloy for my axe and shovel, and I also upgraded my axe to excavate 3. This way I can cut down big trees without having to build up and destroy the top part. Although excavate 3 doesn't reach the big trees, but it works for the most part. Right. This episode, we're gonna try to unlock a few mods. If we go to gates over here, I'm gonna unlock immersive engineering. Also, I wanna maybe try to do some THAUMCRAFT. We'll see how that works. And I wanna go to the Nether. So, I basically cooked a bit and ate a bunch of food, and I increased my nutrition levels. Hold up a second, let me get some fruit juice or something. I do believe I have strawberries here, right? No. Not strawberries. Okay. I'll be planting strawberries just so that I can get that fruit meter up. So I want to go first to the Nether. Right, now that we have our Nether portal, we need to put the that should be everything we need here. It? Does that work? I don't know what counts as corners. Ah, the corner of the entire portal. Okay, that makes sense.
A few moments later.
That's how you control the spread. Oh god, what is this spawn point? First thing, we set up a spawn point there. And second, we should cover up the portal. So we don't have any gas destroying it. Especially since we don't have any methods of turning at the moment. I wanted to go to the Nether today for 2 reasons. One reason is I want to be able to make the NANOSUIT armor. It's this thing. And to make that, I need Energium chest plates, which is apparently made out of Energium ingots. Now those are made out of inertium dust, which we did use last time to make the MFE, and the coalescence matrix, which uses manually. Now this is made out of ardite plus cobalt combined in a smeltery or whatever. I see that that's an ardite and that's a cobalt. Another reason I wanted to come here is because I can have bone meal. Because the recipe for... where is it? The recipe for the coke bricks for immersive engineering requires porcelain clay, which is basically bone meal and clay. Usually down there, like as you can see, those like bone structures. Those are bone blocks. Those would be useful to get the thing. What is it called? The coke bricks. So yeah, I'll do that. I'll get some cobalt, ardites, hopefully enough for the armor. Okay, I have gotten the bone meal. Yeah, we can have a bunch of it now. I only need a stack because I already set up the items we need to make the coke bricks. I want to make 4 coke bricks furnaces. So that's what we're gonna do. Now, what we need is a bunch of coal. I think we have. And an engineering hammer, which I also believe we have. It's just my belief. I need to check one. I could have sworn we had one. Hammer. Seems I am wrong. Okay. And how do you make an engineering hammer? Doesn't matter. Okay, any hammer will do. Okay, now that we have our iron hammer, we can make the engineering hammer. Now, what you do with this is the like the wrench of this mod, and it's used to what's it called? Assemble multi-blocks. I already made here places for all 4 coke furnaces. And how you build them is just like a 3x3x3 blocks of them. And then when you're done, you just right click the center of it and boop, coke oven is done. Now how you use it is you just put coal in it, wait for it to finish, and the results will be, and here will be nice, yeah, with some coal coke and creosote oil. Yeah. So that's why I have 4 of them, because you can't really speed them up. If you like check over here in Reverse Engineering, there is no improved coke furnace. It's disabled for some reason. So there's that. I will fill those up. Alright. I have mined a bit more coal and put them in the coke ovens. And I already set up most of the stuff for the NANOSUIT. First thing, I already like set up everything over here for the recipe. First thing, I'm gonna need the fluid solid canning machine. There we go. And secondly, I need to go to the smeltery and smelt down all the cobalt and ardite. Thirdly, I need to make casts for all the armor pieces. And let's get... I need to pour down. And we're making manulin right now, which will be used for the armor. Yeah. Next, I should make some tough alloy. I made a bit more than I need. That's fine. So what you do is you craft the mixed metal, which is made out of iron, bronze, and tin plates. Put them together, and then you send them into the compressor over here. Heat this up. Advanced alloy. Now we can go here and make some reinforced glass. We need this because the helmet is made out of a night vision goggles, which is what we need. Now over here, I made some illuminators with some iron casing, copper wires, tin, and some glass. Not too crazy. And what else? We need heat exchangers made out of copper plates, circuits, and tin. But we need the advanced ones, which are made by 4 lapis plates and more circuits. Lapis plates are just basically made out of dust. So, there we go. Advanced circuits, just made out of a bunch of redstone, glowstone, and lapis. What else do we have? We need RE battery made out of sulfur and lead. Finally, we need 2 rubber to finish up the helmet. Now we have the night vision helmet. Now we have our manual. Oh, look. Let this pour down, and then we need to make some energium dust. So this is more than we need, but that's enough for what? Actually, I need more energium dust. I actually did some miscalculations. We're gonna need 12 more. No, 16. 16 of those and 20 redstone. With this, you could just, let's just macerate them. I lost my speed upgrade. Over here, macerate those. And let me check on our area. Let's craft some energium with these, but let's not mix them up because we need to send those into the compressor. But we forgot about this part. Be done. Almost. Okay. Now what we need is to make the coalescence matrix. It's made out of manual and redstone, glowstone, clay, and purposine. What you do with this is first let's set up our solid canning thing. We can put it over here. Some energy, and you need to put it on. Which one is it? Canning, I believe. Do this, yeah. You get some speed upgrades. Basically, you're taking this and you're canning those inside of it, making energy in it. Now we need more manual. Yeah. Cool down. Ingots, and that should be everything we need. I lost the mission. There. We're gonna have a bit of leftover from the energium. And now we just need to smelt those again. Let me set up the casting stuff. And chest plate, boots, and finally, helmets. So, we have everything. I'm just gonna set up the recipes, helmet, chest plate, pants, and first. Crystal on top, this bottom, and should be smelted. Yep, there we go. 1, 2, 3, and F. Four. Chest plate, this in the center. Pants, I would assume also this in the center. No. And boots would be the same. Right. This will take a bit longer, but it's fine. You can just start crafting the rest of the armor. And finally, we have made our NANOSUIT armor. Now, you need to charge this armor to be able to use it, so best place to charge it is the MFC. Basically, just put this in and it will charge up till it has 1 million. Yep. Next thing I want to enter is unlocking THAUMCRAFT. Now, hold on. In THAUMCRAFT, you're gonna need elemental crystals like these, and you get these by mining this ore, also this one, also this one, and this one, and this one. Hello? Now, to start off this mod, you're gonna need a bowl, a wooden bowl. I need to get some wood, which is over here. You're gonna need one, okay. You're gonna need 3 different types of crystals. And that depends on how many, what you're making. But I'm gonna be making, what is it called? I'm just gonna make 8 of them, like the item I'm gonna be able to make. And I'm gonna need 8 redstone and 1 piece of flint. What you do to start this mod is just yeet everything in here. You add the flint, use as mixer, and the bowl. This way you make something called Salus Mundus. And what this beautiful thing does, let's just this beauty does, it transforms stuff to other stuff. Magical, crazy, I know. But what you do need at the start of this mod is a bookshelf. Which I'm just making. There we go. What you do is you put the bookshelf down and you right click it with this magic powder. Boom. Turn it to the Thermonomical. Now with this, we unlock the quest line THAUMCRAFT. Now when you open the book, it will put you on this screen. And what you do here is basically research your spell pathing and stuff like that. For example, over here, a lot of reading. But in the end, they want you to make an arcane workbench. To do that, all you need is a normal crafting table, and then you magicify it. Boom. Arcane workbench. As you can see, the arcane workbench has extra slots over here, so you can put each of the crystals, because some recipes require crystals on the side to be crafted. Also, you see this number. This number is the amount of aura is in this chunk. There's a different, like if I move this to here, it's going to be a different number, 362. But that also depends on the biome you're building this in. We are in the magical forest, which is the whole reason I built this here. I built my base here. It's because magical forest normally has a higher aura count than normal biomes. Now that we unlock THAUMCRAFT, we can move on to the next step. First thing I need to collect this so that I can get the achievement. Yeah, okay. Second thing is, well, you go back to the book because it wants you to craft the item that needs to be crafted. You go here and they want you to make something called a thermometer. Pretty simple. There's a panel and some copper. This is like a lens for you to see the world in, through, like magically. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, it will consume one of each of those. Now with this, you can right-click almost anything, and everything has its own like research material stuff. You can even research other players, or like, just go outside and do like right click anything you see. You can even right click mobs, like that thing over there. You can see it has like elements, spiders, doesn't matter. Okay. Now what you're collecting when you do that is research points. So if you go here, there's something called knowledge progress. Over here, all of these are observations, different ones for different classes, technically. Some of them are for Eldritch, Fusion, Artifice, Alchemy, you know, different sections. You complete this, and now we can technically advance more into, like over here, Alchemy. They want you to do it for a Crucible. I don't know if I have a Crucible. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's made out of 7 iron. But, yeah. You put this down, and with a bit of magic, it transforms. There we go. That also unlocks the tab Alchemy, which has its own researches and stuff. Over here we have something called Nitor, basically light. And this is how you do it. Now, if you check on most items, like if you open your inventory, check, for example, the apple. It has these elements. Like, for example, white wool is made out of this thing called Fabrico, and Bestia, which looks like a wolf. You look at, for example, this, it's made out of magic and potential. So this is how, for example, if you want to make something called Nitor, you need to dump stuff that have Igneous, Lux, and Potentia, and you use something called a catalyst to transform them into this. I will show you this in a bit, but for now I will go and set up a place for this. Okay. I made a space for THAUMCRAFT. It's gonna be over here, and this is gonna be the area where we're gonna have our stuff. So for now, this is where we're gonna settle. Over here, we're gonna put our alchemy stuff, because if you like, I put those in a specific place. Hold on, if I press F9, you can see this chunk is its own. So if this chunk gets dirty, we clean this chunk. We don't have to like deal with the aftermath. This chunk takes, what are they called? Viz from all 9 chunks around it. 8 chunks around it, plus itself, so 9. And yeah, that's like the place I'm working with. So let's get back to it. Back to fundamentals over here. There are 2 types of trees in this game, Great Wood and Silver Wood. Already got some of these woods. And we should start theory crafting. And what theory crafting is, first thing we need a table. Nothing too crazy, it's just a small table. There we go. Now what you do is you put the table down, and right now it does nothing because you need, I don't remember what it's called, but scribing tools, basically an ink bottle with a feather. You right click this and there you go. Now you have your theory scribing tools thingy. What this does is here's my book. You check over here. I showed you not this one. Over here. Those are all the observation things. You gather those by just inspecting the world around you, etc. Like something like this. But to get the other ones, these, you need to do theory crafting. I already have one theory in alchemy. And how you do it is you go here, create theory. I need paper. Luckily, they provided us with some paper at the start of the quest. Anyways, you press here, and now they give you like options. Hey, would you like to consume 1 leather and Exanimus Essentia Vial, or some XP to like do the experiments? Some of them don't take anything, depends on the path you're taking. And over here is where the points you get for your research. Once it reaches 100%, get a research. If you already have like 20% before, all you need is another 80%. You can get another point and stuff like that. This is how research works. Right now, I cannot really research anything. I could, but it's a bit hard, tedious. I would rather not deal with that for now. What I want to do is get some night ore so that we can light up our base, and I will need to get a roof over here because this rain is gonna rain. Okay, so what we need is the cauldron that we made, crucible made earlier. Put it down, and under it you can put some fire. Then you get some netherrack here. Steel. Now we can put a water bucket. Now I believe this should bubble. It's hot. Maybe I need to have my particles on. There, never bubbles over here. Now the first thing we need to make, not this. I mean, yeah, we need to make this, but I want to make the basics. Which, if you open the Thaumanomicon, this is your way of following your steps. I want to make some night ore. Night ore is made by throwing glowstone dust with these stuff inside. Now, the stuff inside are, as I did mention it before, if you press shift on some items, they will show you their elements that they're made out of. If we go here, and let's get some... Where's my night ore? We need Lux, Igneous, and Potentia. Now, lucky for us, if we go to our... Here, this has 10 Potentia and 10 Igneous already inside of it. I need some... There we go. 16 of those. And if I can get a bit more. Because I need to make torches. Here's our wood. That's a bit too much. That's it. So, now if I want to do some recipes, let me get rid of this chunk research thing. Back there. Now if I throw all these torches in here, that should okay. And if I throw all these coal, then I could throw all these and I get all my night. I made a lot of them. This is how you get your stuff out. Like now, if you want to empty this, if it's clear water, you shift, right click with an empty hand, and it goes. If this has remaining essentia, stuff that you didn't use in your residue, it will slowly seep into the chunk as something called flux. As you can see, I have 24 flux in the chunk right now, which will cause bad stuff if it grows too much. Now, this is like a method of alchemy that is like pretty basic. Later on, we will be able to get a way of turning, later on, like pretty soon. Over here, we turn it into essentia, which is basically the fluids, and we can store them in jars and use the right amount when we need it without any pollution. Although these essentia smelters don't have 100% efficiency, so the losses will go into the ore, especially the first one, since it has, I think, 70% efficiency. So 30% of that, like, you know, if I put a piece of like for this, 70% of that, whatever, yeah, 70% of that will like be turned to like essentia, and the rest will be dumped into the aura, which is not that good. Night ore is cool for lighting. Press F7. See, it has a decent light source. And looks cool if you want to add like a magic feel to the place. And I'll be using that more often in my THAUMCRAFT builds. Next thing we should go into Elementium. Elementium is basically supercharged coal in a way. Like coal usually has 1600 burn time. This is equal to 4 pieces of coal. But the fact is, this recipe create 10 of those. So essentially, you're turning 1 coal into 40 pieces of coal. And efficiency-wise, this is crazy. But what we need to focus is making alchemical brass, which needs instrumentum. Lucky for us, instrumentum is made out of rubber, or is found only in rubber without any residue. We also need alchemical brass, which we made already like hundreds of times. Okay, not hundreds, but we made them a few times. I don't know if we have any of them left. One, I need another. Let's just make. While that does its thing, give me my rubber. I threw the rubber in here. It has also motors. Now, if you don't want to keep the remaining essentia inside that crucible, you can basically turn it to crystals. It's like how we have I put all the crystals in here. Basically, you can see how much we have. And basically what you could do is turn that element, which is Motus, into a crystal. Like here we have Ratus. Remember where I got that from? I think it's from a wisp that was flying by. Work on the basement. A bit messy right now. I only need like a bit of aluminum brass. I don't need that much right now, just a point. And that's it. Block. I need 9 of those. We do 8 of those, but I have enough to turn. Yeah, if you want to turn something to crystal, you get some quartz, you turn it into quartz, silver, sliver. Yeah, sliver. This is that for each 2 an essentia type, it turns into 1 crystal. You are at a loss because you don't really turn it all into crystals, but you have to do it. Where's my water bucket? In here, and you throw the elements in there. Not. I'm messing this up badly. Give me a second. Throw these in there, and now you throw 8 of those. And now you can throw all the remaining stuff. Although we are out of. It still has some slivers left. Yeah, okay, there we go. That's good water. And with this, we have alchemical brass. Go back to the book. Now with alchemical brass, we can try to start making an essentia smelter, which requires us to have Peridotio and aqua. My inventory is so messy. I will find a way to like clean it up. Anyways, we need aqua and Peridotio. Peridotio, I don't know exactly. Now it needs Permatutio and Mortis. Yeah, that's how you like basically just how we made the Mortis thing. You basically make those 2 the same way. Okay, I've done the research and I got everything to make the furnace. Sorry, essentially a smelter. All I need is another crucible. And then we can. We have everything. We do not have everything. I have a lot. No, I do not. There we go. Started raining again. Then she has fountain. That over here. This just needs normal fuel like coal or anything burnable. wood if you want. And we need something called an alembic. Now, if you go back to Enigmatica, go to this quest, and yeah, we need to craft an alembic, which I already got the stuff for, which is THAUMCRAFT. And I know we're missing also some wood. Apparently, silver wood has like a filtration property. Why is this not working? Does it have to be on the top? Okay. There we go, and finally, there we go. We have our arcane alembic. You put that on top of the essential smelter, and what this does, basically what the essential smelter does, let me get some coal to demonstrate. For example, it will turn this coal into the mush, like it's a mixture of both. The alembic will do is it will separate them, and you only get like one type of the top alembic until it's empty, and then the other type pulls up. And what you could do is put another alembic on top of it, which will mean that it will separate them. One will be holding, for example, igneous, and the other will be holding potential. Now, I don't see what's inside of this because I need a special type of goggles, which I haven't made, but these are the goggles you have to make. And they're pretty cheap, recipe-wise, and I will have to do that in a second. But what I want to do is I need to do another research. First thing, let's try to work on the goggles. Goggles are an artifact. So we have not unlocked artifacts. It's over here. We have everything, claim it, and then we go over here. Goggles of revealing. A bunch of leather. And some copper. We need like 8 copper, 4 leather, 2 pieces of glass paper. 8 copper, 4 leather, 3 leather. Have to have 1 more leather. Come on. Where's your bag? You're kidding me. I have 1 more leather. 1 more. Right? Oh yeah. Okay, I'm blind. With all of that, we need to craft 2 more of these. Let's pay him. More of these, and then we can make this. Now with the goggles of revealing, we can see what's inside of this. We can also see what remains in here if there is anything left. Now, there's 2 ways to get the stuff out of here. Multiple ways, but 2 common ways. Either pipes, which we don't have because we need to research it over here. And the other one is to make something called files. Let me make some. Other than made out of normal glass. Okay. As I was saying, you can make them out of files. Make more than 4. There we go. With these, they act like normal bottles. And each 10 you can hold in 1 file. So this way, I don't think I have enough igneous because, yeah, there's like a loss rate when you smelt some stuff. There we go, we have an igneous and a potentia file. Now, I don't need those. I don't know why I made them, but why not? What we do need is I need to get some files for alchemia, alienus, penicillin, and vitio. Which, if you want to find what item contains all of these, by the way, just search it like alchemia. Click on this, and over here it shows you every item that has alchemia, and it also shows you the number. Like for example, this 6, there's 6 alchemia in this. alongside 50 other things. So I will go finish the tube thing, unlock Oromancy, and we'll be back. To research. Ponder is my favorite one in these because it basically just gets you free research. There we go. Now that we have a theory, we can finish up the metallurgy, and we can now make an thaumium tool, which is equivalent to diamond, I believe. Now that we got our 2 thaumium, what we could do is I have to reset. I do not. Basically, what we could do is do another theory, get a plate, basically just upgrade the essential smelter. I believe this one is 80%, 85%, like utility wise, and then we can unlock the alchemical automation thing. That's what I kind of want to go to, but I think that'll be enough for today. But yeah, we also need to make the essential centrifuge. What this does is, how do I say it? Basically, if you go over here, those air, igneous, terra, those 6 elements that you can mine in the world are primal aspects, and everything else is made out of them. And there's like different types of like in different tiers. There is like the initial first tier, which is like a mixture of the primal aspects together. But then there are like, for example, Mortis made out of aqua and Perditio. But then there's a secondary tier. For example, let's find something. Like this is Mortis over here, it will be used in something else. Like for example, Visium over here is made out of Sensus and Vitreous. So that makes Visium like a secondary or a 3rd level tier. And yeah, so different aspects have different levels. What the centrifuge does, it breaks down, for example, Alchemia, which we have, it's going to break it down into these 2. I believe it only can make 1 of these per like Alchemia. Like you don't get both, you get 1 of them. But still, it breaks them down. So if you need an abundant amount of these and you have infinite amount of these, you just basically break it down to Cantio. Yeah, that thing. And so I will end it today. By next episode, I will fix up a place over here so it looks like a base, not random wreckage. And I will unlock this. And thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I tried to make it a bit longer so that it's a bit worth your time. So if there's any feedbacks, write it down in the comment section. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.